What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So like always, let's go ahead and not waste any time and check out this haircut. Let's go. Okay, so first we're going to be sectioning the top from the sides, creating a horseshoe shape. So this just helps me to be more organized. It helps me to have more visibility with everything that I'm doing. So the neater, the cleaner, and the neater your area is, the easier it will be for you to execute a good haircut. Okay, so next we're going to do clipper over comb all the way around. We're going to give some shape to his head, making sure we don't cut too much. So this is going to be the longest part of the fade. We want it to look connected from the top to the sides. We don't want it to look too disconnected. And remember guys, you want to use your comb in a 45-degree angle so you don't cut too much. Next, with our number 2 guard, we're going to clean off some bulk, making sure we stay underneath where we did the clipper over comb. We don't want to go too high up to create a harsh guideline. So this is just a rough draft of the fade. Okay, so now with the lever open, no guard, we're going to set our first guideline all the way around. So this is going to be in between a mid and a low fade, so we don't want to go too high up. Okay, so next with our lever closed or our 3 zeros, we're going to set in our next guideline about a finger's width below where we left off from the lever open, no guard. Alright, so next with our trimmers, we're going to clean off all the bulk from the bottom, making sure we don't leave any hairs behind. So remember, the more organized and neat you are, the less work you have to do at the end. So by doing this, I know I don't have to go back and touch this up. So I'm leaving this as clean as possible and working my way back up to start my fade. Alright, so now with my blow dryer, I'm going to remove any excess from his head. That way I have a clean canvas to work with. You don't want to be working with a dirty canvas. That way you have full visibility on what you're doing. Okay, so now with my shavers, well, it's going to make the fade pop out even more. So you want to make sure you stay about a finger's width below where you left off with the trimmers. You don't want to use the shavers too high up, because if you do that, there's a possibility you will leave a harsh line, and that will be a little bit difficult to remove with if you don't have too much experience. Now, if you try to remove that guideline with the trimmers and it's not coming out, you have to remove that guideline with the same shavers. Now with the lever open, no guard, we're going to touch up our first guideline just to make sure it's nice and neat. That way that the same thickness, the same width is the same all the way around, just like you see here. Next, with the lever completely closed, we're going to start to attack that bottom line that you see here, and we're going to be opening the lever little by little as we go up to make sure we start to get that blend nice and blurry. We're going to be using our corners to make sure that we don't push that line, that guideline up. We want to fade in, not push the line up, just like you see here. Now with our zero guard open, we're going to create our next guideline, making sure we flick out at the top so we don't create another harsh guideline. Now with the lever completely closed, you're going to open it a tad bit to remove those dark spots that you see here. Most of the time, if you close the lever completely, there's a possibility you will remove too much and end up pushing the fade up. So you want to make sure you open it a tad bit, and then if it doesn't remove those dark spots, you close it completely. Now with the number 1 guard open, we're going to do the same thing, creating our next guideline, making sure we don't go too high up, taking it out at the top without removing too much bulk, since we're going to need some of that bulk so that way it stays connected when he combs his hair back. Now using our clipper over comb, we're going to remove some of that bulk that you see here without removing so much. We just want to have a smooth transition, and we're going to be using our clipper in a upward motion so we have a smooth transition from the top to the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the other side. So I broke this fade process, this system, into 3 sections just for the sake of this video, so that way it's easier for you guys to see. But for the most part, I do this process all the way around, so it's a lot faster. This way might take me a little bit longer, but I'm going to do this so that way you guys can see how it could get done in 3 sections and you can have the same final results. So I'm going to repeat the same steps on this side. Once I get that fully blended, I'm going to do the same thing on the back. And once the rough draft is done, at the end I'm going to do some touch-up work and just make sure that any imperfections that I see, I touch them up and try to get the fade as perfect as possible. Alright guys, so if you're just starting off in barbering and you don't have too much experience, take your time, be patient. It's a matter of repetition. You have to practice as much as possible. It's not going to happen overnight. I do understand at first it could be overwhelming and frustrating, so just try to enjoy the process. Remember why you started. Just know that at the beginning you're going to mess up. It's part of the process. You're definitely going to mess up a lot of times, not just once. It's part of the process of growth. You have to go through failure in order to have success. So you will learn after each haircut, you will learn something new. I think that's the beauty of this. You never stop learning. You will continue to learn. And the cool thing about this is having an open mindset to learning from different people, because every person fades different, has different styles. It's just a matter of finding your own. And a quick shout out to you if you stayed this far into the video. I respect you, I encourage you, I salute you for trying to keep learning, encourage you to keep watching videos, whether it's on my channel or other channels. Regardless if you are a beginner or experienced barber, it's always good to keep learning, to keep growing, keep your circle tight, keep the people around you solid. So let's go guys, let's go. So as you can see here, we did the fade on the sides, we're connecting the back, and this is just, it's still the rough draft. It's not the final product yet. At the end I'm going to spend about 5 to 7 minutes or so just detailing any dark spots that we see. Just try to get this as perfect as possible. In Mexico it's different when it comes to fades. Not that many people know what a good fade should look like. To be honest with you guys, out of 10 cuts, if I show each person the mirror, they're all gonna nod their head and say yeah, it's cool, but a lot of the time they don't know what they're looking at. But I still strive to do my best to give a quality haircut, even though it's different out here. For the most part, everyone does natural cuts. They don't really use enhancements. For them it's something weird. It's not something they're used to. When I do use a little bit of enhancement, it's something like if they're almost embarrassed to have it on, type of a deal. But to each his own. Keep going, keep pushing, keep grinding, don't stop. You already know the marathon continues. Nipsey Hustle, we have to keep this shit going. Let's go. Okay, so now we're going to connect the top to the sides, do a side part on both sides all around. So that way I'm going to be combing these two sides down. So I'm going to start connecting this side since his hairstyle that he wants is going to be combed all the way back, but the length of the hair on top is going to be long. But I want to make sure that the top is long enough to comb back without the sides looking too disconnected. So by doing this part on both sides, like almost like a V shape on top of the head, is going to give me some extra length for it to look more connected to the sides. And using my shears, I'm going to be removing excess of that hair that you see here that is out. I'm only removing that excess. I'm not going to more than I have to, just that excess that you see here, so you're able to comb it with the sides. Alright, so from the top we're going to be removing about an inch and a half. I'm not going to take off too much, just enough for it to look good when he combs it back. Alright, so the reason why I did this, I parted the hair again into a V shape. I gave it another layer because when I combed it back, there was some hair sticking out. So by doing this, it's going to keep it more smooth, more connected without it sticking out too much. You'll see here in the next step. Okay, so now I comb the hair back, and any hair that is sticking out, I'm going to use my shears and my comb to cut that excess out, just to make sure that it has a smooth transition from the top and the sides. Alright, so now with my blow dryer and my comb, I'm going to give it some shape so that way it lays down better, using the heat for it to stretch out, and then I'm going to use the cold for it to stay into the shape that I want it to, just like you see here. I'm combing it up and to the sides, and at the same time I'm changing the heat mode from cold to hot or hot to cold. Alright, so I just put a little bit of pomade and comb that back, and he's looking fresh. He's looking very sharp. Alright, so this client was his first time cutting his hair at an actual barber shop. He said his mom would normally cut his hair. He's from Veracruz. He was very happy with his cut. YouTube, finally with another video. Here are the final results. Let me know what you guys think. It's looking really nice if you ask me. For 150 pesos in Mexico, that's roughly around $9. Cannot get better than this. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment, like it, share it, subscribe. You already know what to do. See you guys next time. Stay spiffy. Peace.